right, you guys. So, sticking with the true purpose of this channel, I want to show you the successes and the failures of different STEM activities from a parent's perspective. So, this one we attempted to do a rainbow stack using with the objective of teaching density. So, the method of it is to take four glasses, three, four, whatever, fill them up with different amounts of sugar water. So the amount of sugar is supposed to increase the density of that water. And then when you pour them together, the one that is heavier, of course, will fall to the bottom. Lighter be on top of that, ending up with the one with no sugar on top. So this experiment, we actually did this a couple of days ago, and I just wanted to sit on it and think about what happened. In my son, in his mind, it was just a failure. But I think the issue is actually the food coloring, not necessarily the method of teaching density. It's the choices of coloring that we use, and this is based off of the instructions that I found. So sometimes things don't work. So what my son is doing is that he's taking 8 scoops. So you decide on your number of sugars per cup. We did 8, 6, no, 8, 5, 2, and 0, just to make sure that the one on the bottom was significantly denser than the one, of course, the 0 or the 2 or the 5. So he's just pouring the sugar in the food colored water, and I'm mixing it. I was glad that I sat down the brown paper, because as you see, there is sugar everywhere. It was everywhere. Ended up being on that brown paper. And then the water started splashing everywhere. So listen, it doesn't have to be clean. Good thing about that brown paper, which I got from the dollar store, you can just ball it up and toss it away. So this is us deciding on the larger container to mix it in. And so when we poured the first one, the green one, which was the heaviest, we poured the entire amount. Should not have done that. Probably should have just poured half of the cup. The instructions called for half a cup of water in each one of them. That container is maybe a 2.5 cup container. Well, when you mix a lot of sugar and water, it goes from a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup really quickly. So this is us trying to adjust the amount of water we put. But I think the true issue is the food coloring choices. What I probably should have did was maybe choose green, red, yellow, and clear, because the blue and the green just completely mixed together. It was hard to distinguish which one. You're going to see at the end, when you take a flashlight or some type of light source behind it, you can see the different levels, but it's not as impactful if I would have chose different colors. So I would suggest trying a different color, trying a dark color, medium, and then a light color. Don't get colors that are similar, like blue and green. As you see, it's black. The red went in, is black. I mean, it may be purple now. And then at this point, my child lost interest. So, because he was like, I don't see anything different. And then we put the yellow on top, which the yellow did not have any sugar in it. So just plain water, food colored water. And this is us trying to figure out what went wrong. And it's okay. And I was explaining to him, not everything is going to work out the way our hypothesis is written, but you just figure out what happened. And this is us trying to figure out what happened. Like, all right, maybe we take the green out. Let's see if we mix it. And I think if we would have took more of a careful measurement of the food coloring, maybe we would have saw that we didn't put nearly as much red food coloring in the red as we did the blue. As you see, the blue is blue, truly blue, and the red is just pink. So that could have impacted the final results. The sugar could have impacted the final results. This is us trying to test it out again, saying nope, it still turned purple. Hey y'all, so last experiment with the attempt to do a rainbow water stack did not work as anticipated. So it worked if we was to put a flashlight behind the glass, you could see the different layers um, of the ingredients. And I was able to explain density to my son, but it just didn't have the impact and the oomph that I was anticipating. So I'm going to try another experiment. Now this time I'm going to do it without him to make sure it works. As this channel purpose is parents' perspective on experiment. As you see, using the last experiment as an example, sometimes you need to try out these experiments before you take it to your child and know how to fixes. What's the fixes? How to at least pretend like we know that this is what's supposed to happen. Don't you see? So I think using the last experiment really helped me kind of validate the purpose of this channel. So today, this is a whole new day. Today we're going to create a beach lava lamp. Now, I got this experiment out of the book, Dad's book of awesome science experiments. You can find this at the library. This is where I found this book, at the library. And my only beef with this book is why is it called Dad's book of awesome experiments? Why not Mom's book of awesome experiments? See, we don't have that. I got beef with the author Mike Adamick. So now this experiment actually uses chemicals. So it uses bleach. So I'm going to gloves and goggles. Definitely make sure, just practicing safe science methods and techniques, safety first. So make sure that you have some gloves when it is time for you to bring this experiment to your child. And also yourself, like who wants to get bleach on their hands? I don't even like getting a splash of bleach when I'm pouring it in the laundry. So glove up, goggle up, and let's get this experiment going. So for this experiment, you're going to need red and blue dye, food coloring. There we go. Oh, goodness gracious. These goggles are, they kind of just been sitting around. And that's another thing I learned. You do not sit the goggles if they're just resting and you're not using them. You're not supposed to sit them like this because all of the dust will collect. And you really don't want anything on your goggles when you're working with other chemicals. So there we go. I just use my, as my husband calls it, my nurse shirt. It looks like a nurse shirt. Anytime I'm working with chemicals, I'll wear this shirt, and I have another one. If it gets anything on it, it's for some reason the material that's this shirt is made out of something that is really super easy to clean. So goggle up, boom. All right, so you need some red, blue dye, a clear bottle. I didn't have a clear bottle, but I do have my clear glass that I use with all of my experiments. I bought this from the Dollar Tree for the sole purposes of these experiments. You're gonna need some corn syrup. I just had some. Listen, Thanksgiving just happened. You should have some corn syrup. Vegetable oil, some water. This is another one of my glasses that I dedicate to my experiments. Some water, some bleach, and a measuring glass. So this experiment, the objective of this experiment to show how chemicals react. You got in density, the corn syrup, and then the vegetable oil, which one is denser, and then put the water on it. It has no weight, so it should sit up at top. And then the bleach is going to show the chemical reaction of the food dye. Supposedly the objective of this is the dye is going to be removed out because of the bleach. So let's get going. All right, so what the instructions are is to, let me get you guys settled so you're not looking at me. Here we go. You're looking here. This is my tray, and this is actually just a tray out of my organizer over here. And I probably will label this as experiments tray. So you're going to mix red food dye with the corn syrup and then pour it into the bottle. So let's see how I want to do this. Since I'm just going to pour it into the bottle, I'm going to mix it in the cup. And actually, I'm going to use a craft stick for my mixing. So let me grab a craft stick. This is, all of this stuff is up here, so this is great. Okay, so I should have been prepared with like a spoon or something. So make sure you have something to mix it. Red food dye with corn syrup. It says 1 cup, so I'm gonna eyeball it as I do all my recipes. 1 cup of, listen, a cup of corn syrup is a lot, so I may do just a half a cup because that really is just a lot of corn syrup, especially for this cup. And I probably have to move the camera down a little further. Red food dye. Let's put some red in there. And you can find all of these items at the Dollar Tree. Again, learning does not have to be expensive, so let's mix this red food dye into the corn syrup. It looks like it's almost down at the bottom. So I probably need more than 1 craft stick. All right, boom, there we go. I'm just gonna sit this down. Again, this is gonna be my experiment table. I just don't wanna wipe it on the side of this cup since it's supposed to be showing levels. Okay, pour the oil into the cup on top of the syrup. And so we're not gonna put any food dye into the oil, so it's just gonna sit on top. So it's 1 cup, so I'll measure out an equal amount of the existing corn syrup. I'm gonna pour it slow. Okay, so at this point, I think I'm going to move the camera down so you guys can see the actual layers, because I can see them, but you can't see them. Okay. There we go. Hopefully you don't see my socks. Here we are. All right, so next, we're going to add the blue dye into the water. we're gonna put a little water in this measuring cup. Just a little bit more. There we go. Let's give us back some light. There we go. Now, some blue dye. Blue. I don't know. Just squirt a couple in there. All right. I'm sorry, y'all. I keep having to walk away. So I need another craft stick to mix it. There we go. All right, now pour the water on top of the oil and give it a few minutes to settle. Okay. I'm gonna try to pour this on the side just so it can run down slowly. Well, I lied. The water goes under the oil. Look at there. Show out water. You told me. All right. So we have the corn syrup, the vegetable oil, and the water. Okay. Now it says give it a few minutes for the oil and the water to settle. All right, so that's as much settling as we're gonna get. Now it's time to pour in the bleach. Half a cup of bleach. Parents, please watch your children when you're doing this experiment. Okay. All right, are we ready? I think we're ready. I feel like I need to pour this in a smaller cup, but I'm just gonna, let's go for it. I'm actually pretty nervous. It says a half a cup of bleach. And then observe what happens. So, okay, there we go. Let's do it this way. So hopefully you guys catch an observation. Bleach is going in. Oh, it's all bubbly. Oh, it stinks. Some people actually like the smell of bleach. I love the smell of bleach because it's clean. All right. The bleach is going to eat away at the color. Oh, snap, you can actually see it from the blue. It's actually eating away at the blue. So the blue layer should actually, can you see that? It's actually disappearing. I mean, this is amazing. All right. It's science, y'all. It's science. All right. Chemistry. So as you see that the bleach is actually removing the blue out of the water. So it's not touching the red, it's not touching the yellow and the vegetable. It is attacking straight to the water. That is amazing. I love it. So, I mean, I was definitely, I mean, you can incorporate, I mean, you can really just skip over the first experiment and go straight to this experiment. It talks about density, chemical reactions, life lessons, how oil and water don't mix. Okay? If you're oil, they're water, y'all ain't gonna mix. So this is definitely great. I love it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Less dense than the corn syrup. The bleach should remain with the water. Look at that. one thin layer of blue. It'll probably disappear. It should disappear. There's still some bubbles. If you look at it from the top, again, this is a chemical, so don't put your face too close with it. And just using bleach on an everyday basis. Don't smell the bleach directly. It's a chemical, people. I've seen people do this. So, I think this is a great experiment to conduct with your child of all ages. With the older kids, they should be able to do this by themselves. With the younger kids, of course, hands-on approach with everyday household items. So take a try at it. Let me know what you think in the comments. I think this is a fantastic science experiment. Again, it's from the book, Dad Book of Awesome Science Experiments. So I am Tanya Satchel. Thank you for watching.